Miscellaneous minds, never explaining the minds. Devilish grin for my alias, aliens who respond. Peddling sin, thinking maybe when you get old you realize I'm not gonna fold or demise. I don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
What is going on, everybody? This is the Miscellaneous Minds podcast. I'm your co-host, Boom Gato, the cat that ends your potential fight back. And to my left over here is the main man, Jesus De Niro, the man that makes the fat stacks. Together from the dynamic duo that won't die, Deadly Ideas, brother, and spicier content than your girl's only fans.
What is going on, everybody? Before we get into tonight's topic, please make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and with that, let's get right into it. So, this potential matchup has been making its rounds now that Beterbiev has become undisputed at 175. A lot of people have been asking. I've seen it on forum after forum. I've seen it on Boxing Reddit. I've seen it in a couple different discussions with different people, and even some of my friends have brought it up. Can Canelo beat a Beterbiev? Listen, I'll be honest with you. When the fight between Beterbiev and Bivol happened, I thought the fight was close enough to where I wouldn't be mad if either fighter won. Now, that being said, I did let you guys know that I personally believed that Bivol won by just 2 rounds, so not by very much, but that he did win. Now, that being said, we're on to this. Beterbiev won that fight, so now people are saying, hey, man, Canelo didn't beat Bivol, but can he beat Beterbiev? Listen, Beterbiev and Bivol are much more alike as a fighter than a Canelo and a Bivol. Beterbiev is very much a come-forward fighter, very much a break-you-down fighter with the punches. He's very engaging. So it would be more of a friendly fight for Canelo. Could he stand more of a chance than he did a Bivol? I believe he stands a better chance, but I don't think he'd be able to beat him. Here's why. I think the work that Bivol put in on Canelo in their fights really demonstrated that at 175, Canelo's power just didn't carry into the 175 division. With that being said, I believe that that's the reason why Beterbiev would win. Yes, Canelo would have a lot more chances to really damage Beterbiev because Beterbiev leaves himself much more open than does a Bivol. Beterbiev engages a lot more than a Bivol. But again, Canelo's power just didn't really carry like that into the 175-pound division. So the things that Canelo would normally do that would greatly benefit him in a fight in his own division or even a lower weight class, it's not effective here. So I think Bivol would eat the punches that Canelo would be throwing at him. And if I'm being honest with you, I think Canelo just wouldn't have enough oomph in his power to really make Beterbiev respect Canelo, and I feel like that would be Canelo's downfall. On the opposite hand, on the other hand, I feel like Beterbiev has enough power, has enough force in him to really make Canelo question if he could go in there and really damage him and fuck him up. If you look at the fight between Beterbiev and Bivol, even when Bivol had a good guard, Beterbiev would break through it because that's how much power that man brought in. So if I'm being honest with you, I think there's too much power that Beterbiev brings, and unfortunately for Canelo, not enough power at the 175 division that I could say I think Canelo win. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I think Canelo would win. Unfortunately, if this was maybe 2-3 years ago, I'd favor Canelo much more. I don't necessarily think I'd say he'd win, but I'd give him a better chance at winning than I do now. Canelo's obviously been slowing down a little bit. So I do think that Beterbiev just has too much power right now. He has too much of that pop in his punches that I feel like it would be too much for Canelo. I feel like Beterbiev's power would make Canelo respect Beterbiev, but Canelo's power would not be enough to make Beterbiev respect Canelo. I know we're going to get a lot of hate on that. We got a lot of Canelo fans on here. And listen, I'm a big fan of Canelo myself. But listen, the one thing I tell you guys all the time that you get here that you won't get anywhere else is that we're honest. Even if the fighters that we want to win aren't going to win and don't have that power. Listen, I would like Canelo to win. I would like for Canelo to be able to beat Beterbiev. But the fact is, if I'm being honest with you, it's just I don't feel like it would happen. I don't feel like it would happen. What do you think about that, my man?
Listen, I don't like to add the transitive property when it comes to, okay, this fighter beat this fighter, but this fighter didn't beat this fighter. So therefore, transitive property doesn't exactly carry over to the boxing world. But if we're going to be 100% honest, if Beterbiev was able to outmatch Bivol, and by all accounts, Bivol should have been able to beat Beterbiev, especially by boxing analysts in the earlier rounds. And the fact of the matter is, Bivol just didn't have it in him to finish Beterbiev in the earlier rounds. Every single boxing analyst will tell you that Bivol would have had the advantage in the earlier rounds. Anything before the 7th round, it should have been a Bivol round. And then they said after round 7 is that's when Beterbiev gets all of his gas, all the advantage that he would have had, because Beterbiev is a distance fighter. Any fight that he has sometime after the 7th round, he gets the absolute advantage on. Now, what does that sound like to you? That sounds like very similar to Canelo Alvarez. After the 8th round, that's when he gets all of his gas. That's when he gets all that the wherewithal, the energy, what have you, to be able to finish the fight and take it all the way to have it be his victory. Now, I bring that to you because as transitive as that is, Bivol absolutely did bully Canelo Alvarez when they matched up some odd years ago. And again, just because Beterbiev beat Bivol doesn't necessarily mean that he would beat Canelo. But if we have all the evidence that we have in those two matchups, and the fact that by any boxing analyst account, Bivol again would take the earlier rounds, and then Canelo would be able to beat him in the later ones. Even if on a scoring basis, that should be the point. But that being said, Bivol was able to bully Canelo throughout the entire match, meaning that whatever gas that Canelo was building up to in the earlier rounds, it just didn't follow through in the later rounds. Even if both of these men are distance fighters and that they get better in the later rounds, the fact of the matter is Bivol and Beterbiev are still in the 175 division and are still able to weight bully Canelo. Now, that's not necessarily, I don't like to use the word weight bully, but if we're going to be honest, yes, that would be the case. If Canelo is moving up in a division, he still has to contend with a lot of weight. He still has to contend for all the weight being pushed down on him. The challenge is on him. The burden isn't on the fighters that he's coming up to in that new weight division. And the fact that he can't carry that burden all by himself against the Bivol, my question is, what hope would he have to do against somebody like Beterbiev that is now undisputed at 175? If he's able to beat somebody that was able to weight bully Canelo as easily as Bivol, what hope would Canelo have at the end of the day? Both of them being long distance fighters, which again, Canelo would usually have the advantage in. Now Beterbiev has that advantage himself. And now Beterbiev also has the advantage of being a weight bully himself. So at the end of the day, what does Canelo have against Beterbiev? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, listen, man. I think again, I think Canelo's found his peak. I think the 168 division is his peak. I think in the 168 division, his power does carry. I think with the bigger dudes, it just doesn't. And that showed in Bivol. Bivol, after the fight with Bivol looked good. I'll be honest with you, I think Bivol could have gone another 12 rounds. So listen, again, this isn't hatred towards Canelo. Again, I'm a fan. I like Canelo. I think I fuck with him as a person, as a fighter, so on and so forth. But I gotta be honest with you guys. I just don't think he'd have enough to beat Beterbiev. Beterbiev, the only thing that Beterbiev has against him is he is old. But that's it. But I'll be honest with you. Even though I don't think he looked great in his fight against Bivol, I do think that he looked good enough to the point where I would have to favor him in a fight against Canelo. Listen, again, I don't think this fight's going to happen anyway. Just I saw it making its rounds on the internet. I know a lot of people were, going back and forth saying, oh, Canelo would win or Canelo would lose or Beterbiev would win or Beterbiev would lose. I just don't think that, unfortunately, for Canelo, there's just enough power in him to really do damage to the bigger guys. And Beterbiev has proven, man, even when you have your guard up fully, he can mess you up. So it's an interesting topic to discuss. I just saw it making its round, so I figured we'd touch up on it. Again, I don't think this fight's going to be made. If I'm being honest with you, I think the next fight that's going to be made is going to be Beterbiev versus Bivol 2. Given the turkeys, at the helm of making these fights happen, I do think he's going to pour a good amount of money into this happening again. So I do think it's very likely that this is going to be the very next one. That being said, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.